Hi there, Lawrence Allen, founder and director of Think Marketing. Thanks very much for taking the time to watch this quick video, which is part of my series of marketing in volatile times. I'm producing this as I want to put out there a few strategies that companies can use during extraordinary and volatile times to actually improve their marketing, as well as highlight some case studies of businesses who are doing really smart things in the market right now, which is what I want to touch on today. And that's because I think I want to try and provide a bit of a positive message. I think there's been a lot of doom and gloom that's been around in the last 12 months, and there's no getting away from it. Yes, we're going through a medical, a financial, and a leadership crisis all rolled into one, but it isn't all doom and gloom, and the sky isn't necessarily falling. Definitely, there are industries and sectors that are having a harder time than others, but at the same time, we're also seeing some really innovative things coming through, and we're seeing companies, retooling and providing new products and services to actually meet the market, which is what I wanted to touch on today. So in my first video, which I'll include the link to below, I actually talked about that there are sort of broadly speaking, three areas of strategy in a volatile time that we can look at from a marketing perspective. The first types of strategies we can look at are hibernation strategies, where we're trying to get rid of the marketing that is superfluous right now and only focus on that's going to have an impact with our core audience, and actually engage them in a positive way during a volatile time. We can reduce spend in those areas, but we don't want to cut it completely, as you'll actually then lose all the momentum you've built up in your marketing. That's especially important in a volatile time, for a number of reasons. I mean, firstly, obviously, your clients and your audiences are also going through this volatility. So we want to keep, connecting with them and providing our new key messages to them. But also, when you come out the other side, if you cut all your marketing and you start up again, there's no guarantee that you'll actually regain that marketing momentum. And if you do, it could take 6, 18 months or even longer to regain that momentum. As everyone's starting at the same point as well. People who have been marketing are ramping up, and those who haven't are starting again. And so you've got a lot more competition from a key messaging point of view. The second area is innovation, which is what I want to talk about today. We can look at non-core products and services that we could maybe offer, or we can diversify depending on the business and depending on long-term strategies, etc. And lastly, we can stimulate our marketing as well. So for those businesses that actually find themselves in good market conditions and that this volatility is working for them, they can actually double down and increase their marketing and their communications to their key audiences. There's a bit of a balancing act with that one, as we want to make sure that we understand why they're coming to us. We don't want to completely retool or redo all our marketing only to find that next week it's completely changed again. So yes, we want to capitalize, but at the same time we need to kind of understand a little bit about why that's happening. But what I wanted to talk to you about today was a case study for a company called Detmold Group. You might not have heard of them before, or you might have just heard of them recently in the last few days, as they announced a really big government deal to start manufacturing face masks in South Australia. The Detmold Group is it's a family-owned and operated business located in South Australia. They've got about 3,000 employees that work across 17 different countries, so that they're a relatively large business. And they specialise in the paper and board manufacturing areas, and specifically packaging. So if you haven't heard of them before, you've probably experienced one of their products. They make foodstuff boxes, so Krispy Kreme boxes, sumo salad, takeaway boxes, coffee cups, those sorts of things. They also work with fast food retailers, so they produce things for KFC, for Red Rooster, for Hungry Jacks, etc. They also produce packaging for foodstuffs for supermarkets, and also bulk goods like flours, flour, sugar, that sort of thing. Another area for their business is also retail packaging. So retail stores like Witchery, Kathmandu, Country Road, etc. have their retail bags produced by Detmold Group. That's obviously an area of their business that's going to be suffering. Now, I'm not sure if this was a reason why they looked to retool, but what they did more recently is they signed a deal with the federal and South Australian government to actually produce face masks. So they're going to hire an extra 160 staff and produce 145 million masks. And that should be from about June this year. They should be up to producing around 20 million masks. They'll be providing that to the federal government to actually stockpile, as well as also providing those masks to the South Australian government as well. And you can see here that that deal, that operational piece, has actually led to quite a lot of marketing exposure for the business. Now, it is a big deal, and the government's using this as a bit of a case study to try and get other manufacturing businesses to do the same. We're seeing alcohol manufacturers being, trying to be persuaded to produce hand sanitizers or sanitizers, alcohol rubs, those sorts of things. And it's a way in which that manufacturers can actually, change tack slightly and look at new currently viable markets. But Detmold Group, has done a great job here in winning that deal, which I'm sure wasn't put together overnight, and there's probably a lot of diligence actually to get to that point. But you can see here that they're promoting it on their website. We've got press releases. We can see social media posts. We've had it on the ABC News and also their news service, on the Australian as well. The local South Australian Premier also picked it up as well, and it was on his website. And this is a story that's just perpetuating at the moment. This has actually also helped lead them into new markets during this time, as obviously in Australia, I'm sure they're receiving some subsidies to do this, and they're obviously working with the Australian South Australian government first, but I'm sure it also gives them the opportunity to work with other governments and produce surgical face masks for their other markets as well. So again, really great example there of someone that's doing really well right now, or is making the current situation work for them at the very least. To try and help out as much as I can during this time, I have tried to take my thinking, so it's not just these videos, but try and distill the strategies that I'm trying to provide into a guide. I'll pop the link to that in the comments below again, so please feel free to download that. Look, there isn't a pitch. I'm not trying to sell you anything here. We're actually literally just trying to help. So download it and go for your life. Of course, reach out if you want to know anything. If you have questions or comments, or, you can comment on places like LinkedIn or Facebook or wherever you might see this video. You can also go to our website. We've got a resources area and also a great blog. So there's more information there on not only marketing in volatile times, but also marketing strategy and different ways in which you can actually you can look at your strategy. But what I would try and encourage you to do is actually think about your marketing right now. Think about the best approach in the current situation based on the data you have, obviously, and try and create a flexible plan that you can actually execute. But also take the time with that plan to talk to your peers, socialize it. You can be quite quick still. It can just take a few days to actually completely relook at your marketing, but do talk to your mentors, people you trust, and marketers as well. So people think we're here to help, and we'd love to hear from you if you have something you want to discuss. And then once you know where you're going, just move quickly. It's a fluid environment, so do make sure you're being flexible. But imperfect action is better than no action or delayed action. Like I said, please get in contact with us if you want to know more. We've got our details on our website. You're obviously on social looking at this video, so you can get me on here. Alternatively, just drop me a call or an email, which you can see on your screen there. Thanks very much. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please comment, and I'll look forward to talking to you in a new video soon. Thank you.